Vamos a dar inicio a este espacio de preguntas que brinda el señor presidente de la República, Nayib Bukele, y la presidenta de la Cámara de Representantes de los Estados Unidos de América, Nancy Pelosi. Dejo con ustedes al señor presidente de la República.
Out of deference to our guests, I will say my remarks in English. I think we had a very nice conversation with Speaker Pelosi and the members of Congress. It's quite a big delegation with congressmen and congresswomen, some of them with long experience in Congress, some of them are fresh men and women that have gone into Congress. So it's a very nice delegation. And we spoke a lot of sort of issues. We spoke about immigration, economic growth, insecurity. We spoke about CICIAS, actually, about the International Commission to Combat Impunity in El Salvador and their support for that. We spoke about El Mozote case. We spoke about justice for crimes committed here. We spoke about fighting corruption and how to better the conditions here so people don't have to flee their homes and go to the United States. We spoke about TPS. We spoke about the conditions of Salvadorans living in the United States, about the border. And we still have another meeting with their full team and some of our ministers that we want to see things that we can work together. Like Speaker Pelosi said to us in the meeting, we're not looking for assistance, but for cooperation. And we spoke about that, and we're very happy about the result of the meeting, and just the fact that this huge delegation of congressmen and congresswomen that had come here to El Salvador, that says a lot of their interest in helping us make a better country and make a better region for our people. And I think that just explains tons of the friendship that we have always had with the United States. The United States is our biggest ally. We want to be their partner, their friends, and we want to strengthen that. And I think this mission led by Speaker Pelosi explains all that. They would not have this huge mission coming here if they would not be interested in El Salvador. And also, there have been other people that we have, Congress people that we have met before. Representative Engel, for example, we spoke last time about projects in El Salvador. He came with a delegation last time to see the projects that they are helping us here in El Salvador. Jim McGovern, he knows El Salvador like forever, since the 80s. He looks very young, but I don't know. He may have started to come 5 years since he was 5 years old or something, because he knows very well El Salvador from the 80s, of the Civil War, and he wants to help us seal those wounds the right way and finding justice for all of the cases of the Civil War that are not closed yet. They also spoke about the amnesty law that is trying to be passed, and as I've said in other moments, I will veto any law that is not approved by the victims. If we want to seal our wounds of the past, we have to do it with justice. So we will veto any law that does not that is not approved by the victims, and that's a commitment. That's a commitment we can have with it.
Escuchemos a continuación las palabras de la presidenta de la Cámara de Representantes de los Estados Unidos de América, Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President, for the warm welcome that you extended to our delegation, for your leadership. I know I speak for all of them when I extend congratulations to you on your new administration and a new baby to come momentarily, perhaps. You're all about the future, and that's what our purpose is. We're here as a delegation to, of course, take pride in the history that each of us has in El Salvador, but also look to the future. With your permission, Mr. President, I would like to introduce our delegation. You acknowledge Mr. McGovern, who's our spiritual leader on the delegation, chairman of the Rules Committee, Congressman Elliot Engel, chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, Chairwoman Nydia Velazquez of Small Business Committee, Chairwoman Lucille Roybal Allard of Homeland Security of Appropriations Committee, Henry Cuellar of Texas, wave, Congresswoman Amata Coleman Radawagan of American Samoa, Congresswoman Norman Torres of California, Congressman Anthony Brown of Maryland, Congresswoman Mary Gay Scanlon of Pennsylvania, Congresswoman Jesus Chuy Garcia of Illinois, Congresswoman Katie Hill of California, and Congresswoman Lauren Underwood of Illinois. The last four names I mentioned are freshmen. So we have senior chairs of committees, senior members of other committees, but 4 members of the freshman class to bring fresh ideas, new invigoration to our conversation about how we go into the future, and a commitment, I believe, from them to be with us on our relationship between the United States and El Salvador. When we met with the President, he welcomed us home in the warmest possible way, and we accepted that welcome personally and officially. For many of us, the interaction between the United States and El Salvador has been transformative in our own advancement in politics. For me, I owe El Salvador a big favor because in the middle 70s, just about the time the president was born, a couple of years earlier maybe, I had the privilege of coming here, and we went to almost all of that. But I mean, in terms of personally, I was at an orphanage with little children, Mr. President, little children there, and they struck my heart, and I said, I'll never forget you, and I'll always work to hopefully make your future better. Those children are your age now, all these years later. Some of them maybe a little bit older. And I wonder what their future turned into. Rather than wonder, we want to make sure we can ensure a future for the children of El Salvador that is very positive. And that experience for me deepened my commitment to human rights, not only for those children and for El Salvador, but universally. El Salvador has a way of doing that to people. It just embraces you because of the values, because of the culture, because of the personalities. I know that is true in California and indeed the entire United States. We are blessed with a large population of Salvadorans in our country, and their commitment to family and work ethic and faith, their American values, their courage, their determination to make the future better for their families, their American values, and their presence in America makes America more American. So we are fighting some initiatives that leave in doubt what that status may be for some of them. We want to work together to have the resources to help build the 3 pillars of our relationship, which are security, prosperity, and governance, and how that can enable people to have the choice to come back if they wish, or stay home if that's what they call home in the United States. But it's all about justice. Pope Paul VI, I quote him all the time, he said, Mr. President, if you want peace, work for justice. That's economic justice, social justice, judicial justice, environmental justice, justice in every way. And our experience is that justice is very well served by investing in our children, their health and education, investing in women. We think when women succeed, America succeeds. El Salvador succeeds, and congratulations on your cabinet being so representative of women leadership. Children, women, indigenous people have so much value added to any country, and I always talk about them wherever I go, and I know that you have a commitment there as well. So, Mr. President, we, on behalf of our delegation, we congratulate you on your inauguration. We congratulate you doubly for your new baby coming to you and Daniela, and we look forward to working in a very positive way as equals, as partners, in how we build security and stability in our hemisphere. Thank you, Mr. President.
Abrimos a continuación el espacio de preguntas y respuestas.
La primera pregunta para la senadora Pelosi por Canal 21 de El Salvador.
Buenas tardes, estamos transmitiendo en vivo esta conferencia a través de Canal 19. Quería preguntarle a la presidenta Pelosi si considera que el país, que El Salvador, cumple las condiciones para lograr un acuerdo de tercer país seguro, y si ha sido ese el tema de discusión durante esta reunión, y también qué acercamientos han habido sobre el tema del TPS para los salvadoreños en los Estados Unidos. Muchas gracias.
Well, two questions there. First and foremost, let me take the TPS question. We have here Congresswoman Nydia Velasquez, Madam Chair of the Small Business Committee, but a champion on TPS. She and Congresswoman Morba Allard doing the DREAM Act, another piece of that, passed legislation in the Congress of the United States to put TPS residents in a permanent situation and on a path to citizenship. So that's how we view that subject. I know that some people have some uncertainty now and are making decisions. We hope the Senate would pass this legislation. We need to have comprehensive immigration reform to address many of the issues, whether they're issues at the border, which we need to secure, that is our responsibility as a country, but to do so that respects the dignity and worth of every person and honors our values as a country. So when you talk about the third country option, I really haven't seen in writing what's in it for the country. You know, in other words, I would hope that we could have comprehensive immigration reform, lift up the regions in the countries in the Northern Triangle, so that we're not talking about such suggestions, but rather making migration less palatable to people because we have given them better options at home. I think that's where our emphasis should be.
La siguiente pregunta, dirigida al señor presidente, está a cargo de Ernesto Cornejo, de Canal 12.
Buenas tardes, presidente. Buenas tardes a los que nos visitan. Sin duda alguna, en gobiernos anteriores, presidente Bukele, nunca se había tenido las visitas de altos funcionarios del gobierno a los Estados Unidos en tan poco tiempo. ¿Esto a qué se debe, presidente? ¿Y a qué acuerdos sabemos que se están llegando? Porque también todos se están teniendo específicamente temas, hablando los temas de migración, hablando temas de seguridad, siempre tratando el bienestar por los salvadoreños. Todo esto sin duda alguna es aplaudible tanto para las personas que viven en los Estados Unidos como también para nosotros los salvadoreños que vivimos acá. Son temas bastante importantes.
Well, we have to remember that, like I said before, the United States is our strongest ally, and we want to be a partner and a friend of the United States. So having all these delegations coming, high-level delegations, I mean, on my right is the Speaker of the House, which is the equivalent of the President of Congress here in El Salvador, and she's not coming alone. She comes with a wide variety of congressmen and women that are chairs of subcommittees and committees that are very important for the relationship with us and the topics we're discussing, like immigration or small businesses, TPS, etc. And this is not only being the only delegation. We have also had other delegations, and other members of Congress, like I mentioned before, have come on those delegations. And we have had also delegations from the executive branch and et cetera. I just think that in this 2 months, that it speaks volumes of the interest the U.S. government in all of its branches has to do this right in El Salvador. I think that it's an opportunity that we have to seize in a way that if we can work together on something that would benefit the United States and would benefit El Salvador, and we can work together. Here in El Salvador, we don't see parties. I mean, for me, this is a delegation of the highest level of the U.S. government. And when we have a delegation from another branch of the U.S. government, for us it's a delegation of the highest level of the U.S. government. So for us it's of the utmost importance to work with them. And if we can somewhat achieve something good and something that would benefit both of our countries, that could even be an example of how things can be done better if we work together. And this men and women here have come from the United States to see in what way they can help. And that's an honor for us. And I'm sure that we will find things that we can work together, and the achievements that we might have would also serve as an example that we can achieve more if we work as one.
Finalizamos así este evento. Presenciaremos el retiro del señor presidente de la República, Nayib Bukele, y de la presidenta de la Cámara de Representantes de los Estados Unidos, Nancy Pelosi, agradeciendo de antemano su presencia en este evento.